of John, chapter 20, reading from verse 1. On the first day of the week, very early, Mary Magdalene came to the tomb while it was still dark. She saw that the stone had been rolled away from the tomb, so she ran off and went to Simon Peter and to the other disciple, the one that Jesus loved. "They've taken the Master out of the tomb," she said. "We don't know where they've put him." So Peter and the other disciple set off and went to the tomb. Both of them ran together. The other disciple ran faster than Peter and got to the tomb first. He stooped down and saw the linen cloths lying there, but he did not go in. Then Simon Peter came up, following him, and went straight into the tomb. He saw the linen cloths lying there, and the napkin that had been around his head, not lying with the other cloths, but folded up in a place by itself. And then the other disciple, the one who had arrived first at the tomb, went into the tomb as well. He saw and he believed. And they did not know, you see, that the Bible had said that he must rise again from the dead. Then the disciples returned to their homes. But Mary Magdalene stood outside the tomb crying, and as she wept, she stooped down and looked into the tomb. And there she saw two angels clothed in white, one at the head and one at the feet of where Jesus' body had been lying. "Woman," they said to her, "why are you crying?" "They've taken away my Master," she said, "and I don't know where they've put him." As she said this, she turned around and she saw Jesus standing there. She didn't know that it was Jesus. "Woman," Jesus said to her, "why are you crying? Who are you looking for?" She guessed that he must be the gardener. "Sir," she said, "if you have carried him off somewhere, tell me where you have put him, and I will take him away." "Mary," said Jesus. She turned and spoke in Aramaic. "Rabboni," she said, which means teacher. "Don't cling to me," said Jesus. "I have not yet gone up to my Father, but go to my brothers and say to them, I am going up to my Father and your Father, to my God and your God." Mary Magdalene went and told the disciples, "I have seen the Master," and that he had said these things to her. As the Eastern Church would say, Christ is risen, and the response is, He is risen indeed. And so today we celebrate probably what is the most important part of the gospel. It's the most challenging because it's where we, like Mary and Peter and John, are confronted by the fact that Christ is risen. In a modern world which is science-based, we try to explain this in terms of science. And I think when we do that, we probably make a bit of a mistake. We should probably be doing it in the world of faith, which is about belief. It's about whether we believe that Jesus rose again. Christ is risen. He is risen indeed. And so we confront this part of the narrative. It's still fearsome, fearful time where Mary goes early in the morning when it's still dark, as soon as she can, and she wants to go and be with Jesus. And when she gets there, she realizes that the stone which was covering the entrance to the tomb is gone, is been rolled back. And she's afraid and she's fearful, and she looks in and she sees that there's no body. And her first reaction is fear, and she turns and runs to where she knows that Simon, Peter, and John are. She tells them about it, and they sum it up immediately. What has happened? Has somebody stolen the body? Has somebody broken in? Is some kind of mishandling of the body? And they run to the graveyard. And when they get there, Simon is a little bit older, so John's got there first. And John goes and looks, and he sees there's no body. In fact, not only is there no body, but the grave clothes are wrapped and lying where they would be if there were a body. Even the headcloth is slightly separate. And Simon sees it, and he just barrels in, he just runs in and has a look. And he can see that there's nothing there. And he turns round and they run back, presumably to tell the others. But they're not part of the story now, because the story now swings to Mary Magdalene, who is left on her own in the empty tomb, and she's devastated by what she sees. And she's experiencing the grief of the loss of Jesus all over again. And she bends down and looks in, and she sees two angels. Angels are messengers from God. And the messengers say, "What are you looking for him here for?" And she turns in her bemusement, and she sees the man, and she presumes that it's the gardener. And he says to her, "Woman, why are you crying?" And she says, "If you have taken him, if you know anything, please tell me. I won't cause any fuss, I'll just take him away." And he tells her the answer by calling her by her name. "Mary," he says. And she turns. Do you remember we talked about turning at the time of the baptism of Jesus? We talked about the metanoia, the turning. She turns and she speaks to him in Aramaic, which is the home language that both of them probably speak. And she says to him, "Rabboni," which means teacher. And he immediately says, "Don't cling to me, you have a job. You must go and tell the others that I am going to my Father and their Father. I'm going to my God and their God." And she immediately goes and she tells them. Mary Magdalene is the one who is the first evangelist, who tells the world that Christ is risen. And over the centuries we respond, he is risen indeed. But it's hard. It's hard because it's not proved by science. It's acknowledged by something deep within ourselves. That's what Easter is. That's what Easter is this new beginning. It's this new way of seeing the world, which has been informed by this man who is God, who has come to live among us and has taught us the right way. And so often the right way is the unexpected way. So often it's quite upside down, because it is of God. It isn't of this world. There's so much to think about. There's so much to consider. There's so much that's important to us. And so we come to the end of the Easter story, the great narrative of the death and resurrection of Jesus. And we move in to a period where his friends and his disciples try to make sense of it. And there are all kinds of appearances where Jesus is just the Jesus they've always known, but he happens to be with them, among them, as he is with us and among us. And so may you have a blessed Easter. This is Vivian saying goodbye.